right, so we are live. Hello, everyone. We are back again. The Consistency Podcast. Today we have a very special guest with us. I'm gonna allow Frank to introduce him. Thank you for joining us once again. Frank, take it away.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. So, for those people who have been rocking with us, you know that one of the focal points of our podcast is to be intergenerational. And, Dre and I, we represent that because we come from two different generations. But I think today will be the first time that we have someone that is even younger than Dre on the show. Uh, and this person is special to me because he's my firstborn son, and I'm grateful that Joshua Williams is his name. He had the opportunity to communicate with Dre a few months ago, and hopefully through the tutelage of Dre, Joshua will learn some important keys in the tech world and be what he wants to be in the tech world. So I invited Josh to come on. I know that he is a blossoming influencer himself and has been doing some stuff in the social media space. And I want to invite him on to share a little bit about what he's doing, but also I wanted Josh and Dre to really continue along the lines of our last show. Excuse me, the pollen is out. Continue along the lines of our last show where Dre was talking about some of the latest tech trends. So, with all of that being said, welcome, Josh. Take it away.
Thank you, thank you. All right, how y'all doing today? Glad I can be here to be in front of y'all and have this experience to talk and just give my insight of just this generation, how I feel like with technology and just AI, how it's just changing us. So, I got to jump straight away. So, first slide I have is how it's transforming society, business, and innovation, or how is AI transforming society, business, and innovation. For me, I would say it's very like transformative because we can see a lot of people nowadays. They're driving they're using websites, AI websites to or um, just commercials using AI to promote their product. I know there's a lot of food spots I've seen on Instagram, YouTube, all these ads I'm seeing. People like just using AI to basically make their product or just um, evolutionize it. So I feel like that's really important. We go to the next slide.
Okay. Everyone, bear with me. We trying to freeze.
Well, I have the iPhone 16 Pro Max right now, but that's that's the second latest. But the iPhone 17 came out last September, if I'm not mistaken. So, but I know that's the newest phone. I haven't really seen I've seen features, but I don't know too much about it. But that's just a way of technology of instead of people might, for me, in the sense of they trying to buy a camera, they can use their phone camera to be able to produce a high functionality. So
So,
that's why.
and you, of course, like always, Dre, you can jump in. Um, so, the iPhone, you said you have an iPhone 16 Pro.
Yeah.
So, there's a regular iPhone 16?
Yes, the iPhone, like iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Pro, iPhone 16 Pro Max. So it's like I could go a little explaining with that a little bit. So the iPhone, it's like I know it has to do with like the size of the phone, how big the phone is. Also, like some have big, like more cameras. Like the iPhone 16 Pro Max has three cameras. Some might have like two, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe all three of them have three, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just the size of the phone, just like the features, how much, like I guess the camera quality gets a little bit better for each phone. I would say so. Yeah.
Hold on, you guys, 1 second. I just realized on the actual stream when I'm presenting, people on the actual stream can't see anything. So that's what I was just fixing real quick. Um, but yeah, no, I'm listening, and yeah, I don't have too many questions about the smartphone. Okay, actually, a question. What was your first phone, Josh?
Ooh, my first phone. That's hard.
Or around what age were you when you had your first phone?
I was like, all right, I'm 20 now. I share. It's funny fact. I share my first phone with my brother.
Uh,
Um, so that was like maybe maybe 13, 14.
okay.
I would say, because I remember, yeah, he was taking to school sometimes. I was taking to school, and he was still in middle school, and I would be in high school. So we had to share. So it was just a banter with that. So
Okay, that's actually interesting. I think, well, I didn't have a phone that actually worked until I was in middle school. I had where they had just the games on the phone. They didn't have any service. I know my sister got her phone a lot earlier than me, but I'm pretty sure I got my first like cell phone that I could call people on probably around, I say 10, because I was in New York, and I'd just be outside riding my bike and stuff. So, but it wasn't necessarily, it was literally just a phone that could call my parents and text my friends. But I don't know if you remember when text messages cost 5 cents. and
Yes.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But okay, yeah. So you didn't get your first phone. Was it an iPhone or was it a
yeah, it
Android?
was a Samsung. It was a
Samsung.
Samsung.
Okay, yeah. I didn't have my first. I didn't get my first iPhone until college. Actually, no, till I was out of college completely before I got my first iPhone. I think I got my first iPhone maybe 2018, possibly. So yeah, I'm new to the iPhone game. Now I gotta convince. I've been trying to convince my dad to get a MacBook. So I've completely changed from Team Samsung to or Team Android to iPhone. So all right, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna try and switch to the next slide. Let me see if I can do that here. Oh, add slide. Nah. View.
While Dre is doing that, Joshua, my question to you is, and I think you were about to elaborate on this, because if I decided to move on to the iPhone, which I'm not sure it's likely, the main reason why I would possibly do it is because it originates from from our country. But I I'm concerned about wandering into an Apple store and being convinced to buy a, a product that is is beyond what I actually need. So that's why I was asking you the question about the iPhone Pro versus the other. So what kind of people would need an iPhone Pro?
Um, okay, that's a good question. Um, I feel as though I feel like it all depends. I like mainly people that's like very like um how can I say this? People
What is the pro?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's interesting that you would say that, because you would think it would be flipped. You would think that Younger people would want more broadness, and then the elders would want to be more focused. Just give me my few things to do, and then that's interesting.
Dang, I was actually just talking and nothing was being recorded. My dog was barking before, so I muted my mic. But just for people who didn't hear me, I was saying that iPhones themselves are a little bit more standard in the applications that they use, and Android is a little bit more open source as to you have more independent developers who can kind of create different applications. So, for instance, music applications, you have different options on Android as opposed to on iPhone. You really pretty much only have Apple Music and Spotify, or those really big, well known music applications. Um, but yeah, really, when it does come to thinking that it would be flipped around, I think Apple has created such a standard for people growing up in our generation that we're so accustomed to. It's easier for us to just get in there and do what we need to do as opposed to getting a blank phone and then having to find all of these applications that we want to do and find the ones that are trustworthy to do the things that we need to do on them. So sorry about that, but we still on
Cool.
this slide, or you don't need the next slide?
Yeah, I can talk about the slide.
Okay.
So for this slide, what is artificial intelligence, AI? So like for me, it's kind of funny because like nowadays, like where I work right now, I'm probably like it's probably like the last of it in the sense of cashiers, and how AI with self checkout lines in different stores. There's not even a lot of cashiers anymore, so it's really like self checkout or just online ordering with DoorDash, Uber. They could easily, with the click of a button, have their stuff delivered right in front of their door. With just Amazon, just package delivery. It's not like, oh, can you? I need this package. Can you pick it up for me? This and that no more. So it's fascinating for me for that. For automating tasks, it's, I would say that's definitely like before you couldn't really do something like I would like you couldn't really do that before automating tasks like that. You have to do it manually, but with AI you could have. I'm gonna talk little bit more about this in later slides, but like for example, like building a website you can have AI literally. There's like AI services that codes for you to be able to. If you have an idea that you want to mock up, you can literally um, tell prompt AI what you what you want it to do, and they can literally create it for you. So that's a big key thing for me. Another point was generating content and insights. So like for me as a content creator, I might, as many content creators know, you might just have a roadblock and just get stuck. What was the next idea that I want to do? So like AI, you can sit up, okay, what's my niche? So if you know your niche, what videos I can do that can broaden my just um, viewers or just CPM, just click through all my click through rates. Trying to see how many people can see my videos with um, I can say thumbnails, my titles, and my YouTube videos. AI can help me, so like they can scan other videos that perform well. What I like about that, they can scan the videos that perform well, and they can give me insight. Like, okay, this is what this person did. This I could put your own spin to it, and give me insight and points to where okay, let me um get these points and like put it on mine to see how it performs, and I could just furthermore for that. So I guess I like that. We go to the next slide.
Okay. And quick question: do you have like a current like AI workflow that you use when you're creating your content, or
So yeah, so like I've used so I'll use ChatGPT sometimes
mhm.
to where I can search up okay I would kind of like upload some of my videos. Like, so we'll put a link in some of my videos from my YouTube channel and
Mm-hmm.
ask what type of videos that like I react to next. Because a lot of my videos, man, it could have been loyalty test videos, um, just basketball content related videos. So I would ask AI what some video ideas I could do. It can tell me, and I can look through the feed of YouTube and say, okay, this is a good video. Um, also look at how long the video is. Actually, how can I like basically plan out the video? How can I make good reactions out of this 40-minute video? What do I need to say? The key catchphrases that other people use, I tend to like write that down, put in my Google Doc to where I can be able to, when it's time to record my video, I can be able to perform well. So that's a little bit about that. Um,
So, so
mhm.
as far as your reaction videos, what type of, I mean, there's a lot of, especially today, there's a lot of stuff to react to. Is there a specific subject or what type of things, if we wandered onto your page, what kind of things do you typically like to react to?
Um, so I would say I like to react to sports related. Excuse me, sports related. Like NBA, if I were NFL game, NBA games. Some 1v1, just different. Like 1v1 basketball, 5v5. Outside park runs. I like to react to loyalty tests. To see if the he or her will cheat on their significant other. Gold digger pranks to see if people are loyal or they're going out for the money, or just any type of. Um, I like to. I've been seeing trying to. Trying to incorporate more just react to some type of Tubi movies because I've recently seen that I won't get copyrighted with that to where I could it's already they're already acting the video so I could give my commentary on the video, make it family friendly of course to where like I won't get flagged in my video. So that's kind of the content I dabble in, and I'm gonna furthermore do with that with just that. Yeah, sure. For this AI and everyday technology, we already talked about smart homes with ring camera. You could be able to see who's at your house. To be able to detect danger or like just see who is at your house. I feel like that's very important because you never know who's coming at your door. Like just today, there was a police officer that knocked on our door. My brother lit up the window, but we didn't know who it was. So of course we're not going to open for anybody because we're not expecting anybody. Like we're not going to open the door. So just having a ring camera, we don't have that, but having a ring camera, having a ring camera, it like helps, especially if we're not home. We can be able to speak through the ring camera to see who's there, who like needs us or whoever's at home. Like what's the purpose of their being at their door and whatnot. So that's what I can say for that. With cars, we know Tesla, self-driving cars, and just every more and more electric cars with Porsches. I know Dodge going electric. There's so many electric cars to where people are not going off of gas anymore, saving money. Just going electric, just using energy. Um,
In terms of the technology in cars, have any of you, have either of you, I should say, taken a Uber in one of those self-driving vehicles? Have you either of you done that
yeah,
yet?
yeah, I have. I had well, oh, you said self driving. Yeah, well, Tesla. It was the guy driving, but it is a self driving car. He just didn't
No, I
put it
mean
in.
one of the ones
Waymo.
that come with
Oh,
nobody in the
Waymo.
driver's seat.
Oh no, not yet, not yet, not
I've
yet,
been
not yet.
seeing so many. I see those. I see more Waymos on the street than the cyber trucks now. So now when I go out into the city, I see it. I'm guaranteed to see at least five on the street. So it's changing rapidly with that.
but you haven't done it yet.
Nah, I don't really too much take Uber. I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I just haven't had the opportunity to take it yet.
I've
Yeah,
been
sure.
fascinated by that. My one of my good friends, he's a truck driver.
Hmm.
He used to travel across the country, and before we started seeing the Waymos all over the place, he said one day he was on the road somewhere out in the Midwest, and he happened to look over, and it was an 18 wheeler with nobody in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I'm sure they test that out down over there where there's nobody driving. They can't. 18 wheelers too much for Atlanta right now. I started seeing them. I think I was in Phoenix. Might have been the first time I was seeing like some experimental like taxi services with no driver. Maybe Vegas. I'm not. I don't remember. Definitely in Phoenix though. I saw some self driving cars. Um, so yeah, I think yeah with the cars, AI is definitely happening. What about some wearable AI technology?
Okay, so for that, I could say we know Apple Watches. People wear that on their wrists to where they can, or like Fitbits. I know that they can, especially Fitbit, they can monitor their fitness. If they're running, they could see their heart rate to make sure like they're okay. Especially in the hot weather nowadays, they can monitor that. So I like that a lot. I know with Apple Watches, you can it's green, so you can if you don't have your phone at the time, you could maybe text back to report a message. If you need to tell somebody on the way, but you don't want to have your phone in your hand, you can say, just answer it quick and say, I'm on the way home to somebody, or any important, like maybe not important calls so much in terms of business, but like just important calls just in general. It can be a good use of that. Yeah. What about y'all? What do y'all think with wearable technology?
So,
Yeah, you go.
one of the questions I wanted to ask the two of you, and Dre and I have talked a little bit about this before, is this idea surrounding virtual reality. Because I went to a simulation maybe about a year or two ago at one of the public libraries. It's fascinating because with the virtual reality, they created basically a fake world, and they put a headset on me, maybe similar to, it looks similar to what Dre has on, but uh, it was amazing because with those special goggles that they had me put on, and they had some other apparatus I think on my wrist or my hand, the sound and the experience, it was it was as if I was actually experiencing it. It was good, but then it was dangerous because dangerous in the sense that, and this is where they were showing to itself. A lot of people now, because of just how down on their luck they may have been in the dating world, a lot of people are turning to virtual reality because it gives them the sense of the real thing without having to make the investment. I mean, before we saw virtual reality as it is today, people were saying that a lot of people were wandering off with, with pornography, but virtual reality has the ability to just take things to a whole nother stratosphere. So that's wearable technologies is big in the virtual reality world. So that's what I wanted to say.
Okay. Yeah, real quick. So there is a difference between the AI and virtual reality. So, or really with a lot of these technologies listed here. So all of them can utilize AI. So like we were saying with the cars, the self-driving cars is that's AI. With the smart homes, I think that's more. I don't know if I would consider the Ring camera AI yet. I think that's more of a network right now. When I think of AI in relation to the home, I think of um, like climate regulation, so you can make sure that your house stays on a certain temperature. You can lock the doors uh, with your computer. So wearable technology, even I don't know if I would consider my Apple. Well, not my Apple. I got an older Apple Watch. I'm not sure about the newer ones, but I don't have any AI in my Apple Watch. I'm trying to think of some wearable AI technology. Oh, they have the Google glasses or the Meta glasses. I think maybe considered AI because I think you can talk to them and have them start recording stuff like that. So yeah, I would say Meta glasses is probably the newest step towards wearable AI technology. Um,
And not to cut you off, but I didn't want you to leave the point about the eyewear because recently I saw some eyewear technology that you would never know that this was a recording device.
yeah, getting very discreet.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they look like regular glasses. You would expect for something that's recording to be like bifocalish.
Hmm.
These were not that. They were stylish. And so when we talk about surveillance, which there's a whole nother conversation when we talk about surveillance, or it changes, those kind of glasses also change the game when you're in meetings and so forth. So I just wanted to say people need to be very thoughtful about how they move because of so many different kinds of technology that has the ability to record.
Okay, hold
All right, so it's funny I was talking about it. So the next slide was about everybody wearables with smart glasses. As I do have a pair myself, where I've been using my glasses for like content purposes of having a real page to where I can wear them, record. I can do commentary, like go up to people, just interact with people, which I have so far. Um, you can live stream videos, pictures, as y'all know, taking nice pictures of the sunset. I don't have to pull my phone out, just look up to the sky, just ask Meta to take a picture, and that's just a cool feature. Um, I know the new metas you can actually ask questions, and Meta will give you an answer.
on.
Pretty sure Meta twos, if I'm not mistaken, are the Meta ones. But I feel as though um, those that technology is big in the sense of in terms of if you can literally create a business. I've seen people create a business on TikTok just simply using AI glasses with the content of posting interactions, or say I've seen a dude, he cooks, so he's showing his POV of his cooking and how his clients, how they enjoy the food. I just saw this guy, he went on a popular streamers platform, Khalil. He's a streamer out of New York, but he's based in Atlanta now. He was did showed how he got the supplies at the store, just edited the video to make it just a reel out of it. Got to the house, cooked some breakfast for them, had them enjoy the food and the vibes. And I know that video probably got millions of views just off of just having the glasses, not have to hold, because you have to think you have gloves on, so you don't want to be touching your phone with gloves on. Here, all you have to do tell Meta to record with his voice, and boom, voila, he can have this video recording and get captures content. So I feel as though that is a very like unique thing that I love about Meta, what they did with that, to where you can go out if you want to record, make content, or just want to take pictures. You can just have Meta look at the sky without having your phone. So that's a cool feature, I would say.
Okay. Can you tell me what's the live streaming aspect like with the glasses? Like, do you need the special like internet packs, or can you kind of just
Yeah,
connect to anything?
yeah. So I've seen like you can actually like, well, there's a platform called Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
so you can actually connect them to like connect them. It's a way to do it. But you connect them to your Twitch account,
Mm-hmm.
and to where you go live. You can literally go live, but you have to try to be in a space where it has internet as well. But you can go live with the glasses, so it's a cool feature. So if you wanted to do a cool little stream in your house with the Wi-Fi connected, you can or data, whatever, you can be able to use live streaming with the Meta glasses as a way to live stream. If you want to, say you was at you can also there's networks to where you can connect. I've seen a streamer, he uses Meta glasses to like just, he went to Disney World and he was have the glasses. He was live streaming the like his experience at Disney World. So
Mm-hmm.
it's that kind of cool aspect to it. So that's what I can say with that.
Okay. Yeah. I've had people come to me about like streaming just like daily content, but then it just becomes when you don't have that inner, since streaming does take a lot of bandwidth. If you're, if you're just trying to stream off of your phone with your data service, sometimes it may get a little spotty with the connection. So yeah, I was just asking about that. All right, let me go on to the next slide. I'm over here trying to catch. Okay, there we go. Did it go? No. Yeah, I'm gonna have this down next time. Okay.
Okay, so with content creation, AI writing tools, graphic design, and faster marketing production, I feel as though with AI writing tools, you can literally have AI like create art for you, portraits. If you give the AI, like, there's probably websites out there. I don't know the name of it top of my head, but you can search up. Okay, I want, I want me of a picture of LeBron to be sculpted, and they can literally have it out, draw it out for you. What else? I'm not. I don't. Well, I wouldn't say. I don't think that's a running tool. Apple Pen is not a AI running to rate. Am I
You said which one?
that Apple Pencil?
Nah, that's not really a so an AI
Yeah,
writing tool. They have like Claude AI.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty
It's called
good
AI.
for writing. For graphic
Yeah.
design, you have Google's Nano Banana. ChatGPT has Dolly. Um,
Mhm.
there's also Mid Journey for graphics as well. So yeah, there's a couple of different ones. Yeah, a lot of different design tools. There's one called Pencil AI. Canva has AI features in it now as well.
Mhm.
Um, there's a whole bunch of just different tools that are content relation, content creation related. I use All Canva I use all the time. Writing tools I really use ChatGPT to help write the descriptions and titles
Hmm.
for my for these streams and YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Graphic design I use that for I use the Dolly and Nano Banana recently for clothing designs and website designs too. I use AI to build websites. So yeah, I'm I'm all the way into the AI trying to do the designs. About how many slides you have? Because I kind of just want to talk with you a little bit more just about where things are. Or were there any other slides that you wanted to make sure you got to? Or
I mean, I hit most of it, so if that we can pause there because you can talk because I hit most of the slides I really wanted to talk about, so we
okay,
could go ahead.
okay. So from would you say was your biggest inspiration in getting into content creation?
Um, well, that's a good question. So biggest inspiration. I so with especially with reacting, like I say, my inspiration was Flight Reacts and Cash Nasty.
Okay.
There was a big, just they're the big reactors in the space, and I like how just authentic both of them were. They were able to express themselves with their fans, just in the video, just express who they are. Um, so once I start watching them, still watching to this day, start watching them just and it's now when I watch them, I kind of study the antics to where I could put my own spin to it and just have my own personality with my videos. That was like those two people that really got me into consecration. Um, and just that's how I knew how to. Okay, I see Cash. He has the green screen. Both of them have green screens in their videos. So I'm like, okay, let me get this green screen because I feel like it looks more professional.
Mm-hmm.
The videos I see in a crazy background, having my green screen just to have me in the video. Make sure I got a mic, some a good headset for the audio, to be able to hear me clearly. Um, just listen to the little things I picked up over time when watching them, which really got me to like, let me try this out. Starting off like do reactions. I know eventually I'm gonna try to want to branch out, maybe do some vlogs here and there or streaming possibly. Never know the future, but I know reactions right now, trying to get that up and running. And then I feel like that way, I feel like reactions, I build that talking to more post clips to where I can grow a fan base and to where I can have a community and be able to talk with them, have Discord calls, probably do Discord segments, and then that could incorporate like the streaming part of it and just all just be a collective with it. So I was
So
gonna say,
so you said
mhm.
community. What's or what type of community are you looking to build with your current platform, and what type of community are you looking to build?
Yeah. So for me, I would say the community to where it's which like don't ever be scared to chase your dreams. Um, be confident who you are. Um, if you want to like just if you want to do something, be able to do it. Put all your efforts forward. Just support a community into where like we hear each other out. If I'll respond to my viewers' videos, like let's say this video helped me get through my day. I'm really hard in life right now. I can be able to relate. Tell them just keep going. Try to I don't. Maybe not everybody might not be religious, but I am. So maybe try to implement that in the my community. Just probably hosting events, meet and greets, to where they can see my just actually see they see my personality in the video, actually meet me in person. I can take pictures of the fans, smile, just interact with them, just because they love me, I love them back. So some like that.
So, because the way that it seems now, from my perspective, it seems like streaming is like the new age rappers, or like what rappers were probably in my day. It seems like streamers have taken that position now of like, okay, yeah, I used to, um, because our favorite rappers weren't necessarily as accessible, I guess. So I think only you would only see them if they drop music. Or do you think, or what are rappers like to you today, or do you think would you put streamers above rappers? How do you view that?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel as though like there's always those certain rappers like Drake, Jay Z, um, Kanye, Kendrick. That's just out of this world type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I really feel like streaming, like there's a lot of big streamers, and I feel as though like streaming is a new media network.
Mm-hmm.
And how I feel like rappers they want to collab with streamers now because they want to boost their album. They want to boost their likeliness to more. They can get more money because you already know they've been signing these deals, and they have to be able to produce on those deals and stream. They see these streamers, all they do is be on the camera, talk, and just do just funny things. It's more to it, but a lot of them they could be just have a good charisma about themselves, and people like them. So I feel as though like streaming is definitely. I feel as though streaming is definitely over rapping. I know it's a streamer right now. He um he literally got he incorporates music as well, but he's literally got people on his streams, and he was Grammy nominated for in the Grammys for a song he did with other musicians
Black
to
Boy.
where yeah, so
You talking about
it,
Black Boy Max?
yeah, Plaque Max, yeah.
Yeah, nah,
So
I
I
ain't
feel as
seen
though
that.
like yeah, him and other people, DDG, Kai, Aiden, Speed, they just revolutionized the game. And then rappers, um, they're not. I feel like streamers, they're more like consistent with it.
Yeah.
They're doing stuff more every day. Like they're on it. They're collaborative community rappers. They're like waiting to the album drop. This album might not drop until a year later. Waiting for the fans. Fans don't want to wait that long. They're moving on to like the next thing. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I can actually watch this dude. I actually like him. Let me tune in here. I'd rather spend money on the streamer than the rapper to where they're really, I'm barely seeing them, barely seeing music. I'd rather give to my favorite streamer. Like, they shout me out. I get excited at home. Like,
Right.
feels though it's a cool thing. Yeah.
Question. Okay, how would you tier streamers? Like, you know how you have different tiers of rappers. Like, what would you say? Like, who, in your opinion, is like? I know we've got like the Cots and Nats, and so I don't know if he like. Is he considered like a mainstream streamer, and they're underground streamers, or
Okay,
like?
yeah. So, yeah. All right. So, like, I would say I can start at the top. So, I would say mainstream streamers. I'll say Kai, Speed, Aiden, Jinxie,
Okay.
Peso. Um, who else is mainstream? What's it called? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Oh, it's a virtual reality streamer. I forgot her name, but she's mainstream as well. I would say that's so. I would say S tier. That's mainstream.
Okay.
A tier. I would say like um Lacey, Ron, Jason. You really could put Jason S here, but for now I put him A. Lacey, Ron, Jason, um, Tylil, Rakai because he's young still.
Mm.
Um, Ray. Duke.
Actually,
Well,
the streaming, it kind of now they kind of like different record labels. Like I know they got Amp and
AMP,
yeah, yeah,
RDC,
AMP, RDC. Yeah, I know RDC.
Boys. Um, yeah, it's a lot of groups now. I know it's no more phase, but that group they broke out, but they're still doing their individual thing. I'm trying to think. I would say C tier. Um, hmm, let's see. Think C tier, C tier. Oh, I would say B tier. A tier meant A tier is DDG.
Okay, yeah,
Also Deshay. I would say like B tier is like Dub, Silky. Um, let's see. Dub, Silky.
and Frank,
Uh,
this is kind of like these are like the new rap groups almost. So it's like in the new internet age, they have people who or so many streamers have gotten popular to the point where
yeah,
some of them will team up. So it's like almost like how Rock Nation had Jay Z, Memphis Bleak, and so now it's like they got Kai Cenat, and then he got his whole like they buy whole houses for them just to
yeah,
create and stream content. So that's how serious this streaming has gotten now, and that's why I'm
yeah.
like I think rappers is that time is over with because like Josh said, it's just like people not there's so much content coming out. Why are you gonna wait for an album to drop when you have your favorite streamer listening to the music that you want to listen to? So it's like,
Grandma's doing 30 days straight
mm,
for hour streams, like actually having good segments, captivating just so much, bringing people in, your favorite people, bringing celebrities on, just seeing that all that entertainment like on your screen, you're like, how can you not want to watch the streamers rather than waiting and just with the rappers like waiting and don't really know when you'll see something next.
You know what's amazing about the conversation that the two of you are having, and I hope that especially the dialogue. I mean, the stuff with the slides was good, but the dialogue that you created after the slides went down is really good. Because my my question is, um, once we're able to, to share this content and or maybe even cut up parts of the dialogue you all had with each other, it's really this streaming is an alternative world at this point because there's only a few people by name that the two of you were talking about that I even recognize. I mean, I was fortunate to do something with Kai, so I recognize his name. But other than that, most of these people, and so it's you raise a very important question when you compare these influences to rappers of my day. I mean, um, clearly, the influencers are probably more popular when just listening to the dialogue that the two of you just had.
mm-hmm.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
who would you say since we were talking about rap? Who are some of the rappers that you do currently listen to, or someone who you used to would maybe anticipate an album from before?
Oh, I would say I used to listen to a little bit of Playboy Cardi.
Okay,
I knew I never anticipated albums from him. No Cap. Uh, he was he wasn't really producing as much. Um, trying to think. Little baby, a little bit. He was like slowing down, at least not dropping as much fire as he used to. Um, let's see. There's a little couple. I would say now who I listen to, Huncho. Um, I would say Ron Wave.
okay.
Um, let's see who else do I listen to. Gunna, J. Cole. Um, yeah, there's a little bit of rappers I listen to now. I would say
Okay. Now that's
DDT a little bit, Drake for sure. Yeah,
But would you say, Joshua, that comparatively, um, your brother is more into music than you? Would you say that? Because I think you,
yeah,
uh, yeah.
definitely.
oh, so your younger
Yeah,
brother listens to, or maybe not rap music, but he just listens to more music in general.
yeah.
Okay.
I've Spotify, but I have a playlist a little bit. But sometimes I just let just different music play and just listen to it. I know of them,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but I'm not as in tune as I used to be. Now my brother, he has thousands of songs, different playlists and whatnot,
Okay.
whatever his mood is or how he want to listen to. He goes to, he goes on with that. I know for me, it's like just how I'm feeling. Like I haven't listened to music at all today. Like I've been in the house, just been yeah. It's like it depends. I feel like when I want to listen to music or not, because really I'm more of a I rather watch like listen to basketball talk like podcasts or just like stuff like that more than just hearing music. And the only time maybe in the car I'm going somewhere, put some little tunes on. Um, yeah, maybe yeah, that's really much it. Sometimes
Okay.
um, maybe at home a little bit, but not really much. If I'm just out, sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's getting hard, like you said, like Lil Baby not putting out as much fire. I think it's a lot more difficult for artists to produce at the clip in which their audience is ready to be kind of satisfied. Because it's like, from my perspective, well, when Lil Baby first came out, when he was dropping all the mixtapes that had hard in it, he was like harder than hard, harder than ever. Um, he was producing at a very high clip, but then when he finally took, like, he was dropping maybe twice a year at that point, and then like once he took a little break, then people was like, ah, nah. Same thing happened to Roddy Rich. Roddy Rich was dropping consistently with the Feed the Streets mixtapes, and then he took a year off. He came back. People was like, nah, this ain't it now. So I think if you have that attention as a rapper, then you gotta continuously drop. Only person who I think has been able to escape that is Cardi, Playboy Cardi. So because he can take however long he wants to drop, and people still tune in. So I see the expectations for rappers have just kind of gone up exponentially. Um, and so it's really just gonna be hard for them to, especially with the title in terms of content. There's no way they can keep up with streamers, because streamers can really be on 24/7, just
Yeah,
streaming their lives. And like what you said, you like to actually listen to. You can get all of that in one stream. They can be listening to music while they're talking about basketball, showing clips of whatever's going on on Twitter or Instagram, whatever they're talking about that day. So yeah, we're definitely shifting completely away from rap as the biggest influence. And I think just since streaming is, I think, way more lucrative, I think that's why we're seeing so many people make that pivot from using, like, at that age people wanted to be rappers. Like when I was in college, everyone was still trying to rap or get into the studio. Now that's like, now we got to set up a stream now, and make sure we get some content. So that's just that's how technology is affecting us, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. For me, I don't listen to music as frequently as I used to. Like, it's just too much to me. Too much music comes out for me to really shift through and figure out what it is that I like. So I mean, I listen to the people who have delivered good music to me in the past, but I don't even get to go. I used to be able to listen to an album for weeks and weeks and just not turn it off. Now it's like, all right, I got to get to this other album, and it's even like it's really good albums. So like this year, I'd say Don Toliver got my favorite album this year so far. Um, and then you got like Brent Fayez is a little bit more R&B.
Hmm.
Um, and then J Cole, The Fall Off. I did a review on that one, and that one I think even with J Cole's album, I think that was very long for today's people's attention span because it's like he dropped a double disc album. Um, so I just see people's relationship to music. Like if I was in high school and J Cole dropped the double disc album, that's probably all I'd have been listening to or out. But now it's like I really don't have the time to sit through an hour and 40-minute album consistently. So it's kind of where I'm at with it.
Listening to you guys, you raised something that I had not really known or paid attention to, and that is, it sounds like it's harder to be a top artist today because from what I'm hearing, it appears that an artist has to produce on steroids. But from the standpoint of what the consumer base expects, and yet based upon some of the things that you taught me in the past, these same artists aren't getting the same volume of sales that past artists did. I mean, I think about DMX, the amazing DMX. He dropped two platinum albums in the same year. I'm not sure if anybody else has done that. Um,
Not recently.
that was, huh?
I said not recently.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Two platinum in the same year.
Mm-hmm. It's unheard of today.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on the artist, and you sharing that insight might explain. Also, I happen to, you come across stuff on your feed, and forget who the producer was. I can't remember if it was Arel. No, it wasn't Arel. Anyway, he was talking about. 'Cause I think Arel passed me. I think um, he was saying how prolific and awesome the '90s the '90s music was, because you have Whitney and so many others. And of course, there's so much talk about how the quality of the music has gone down. But perhaps some of that has to do with how heavy the demand is. I mean,
Yeah, I definitely think that's it.
they don't get the time to produce the quality if they're expected to just crank that stuff out.
Mm-mm. They gotta come out. They gotta. To be honest, I feel like the quality has increased in even with the because before, if you weren't in a studio, you were not gonna be competing with artists who had studio quality music. But now they have different apps like BandLab. You got Logic. You got Fruity Loops. So all of this music creation is at a lot more people's fingertips. So I'm saying the quality has actually gone up when you're looking at the baseline of what people can make and today compared to back then. Like, and now they also have AI music creation. So they got Suno. People could just give it a prompt and say, give me a trap banger or something. I've never used Suno, so I'm not exactly sure how that one works. But uh, the qual like some of the music that these top artists are making is like out of this world. Like when I'm listening to the Don Toliver album, I'm like, I've never heard anything like this before. Just the guitars and the new sound, like just little small sounds. So I think people are appreciating the music on if you take the time to if you have the time to listen to it. I think where people say the quality has dropped, maybe I think they're referring to lyrics that maybe make it onto the radio might have dropped per se, but the musicality of things I think is definitely increased because even these kids coming out of high school, I'm listening to some of these beats like, yo, how did you get a
Wow.
hand of these a beat of this quality, and and they're able to get so creative on like a lot of people will hear some of the sounds that they're or some of their voices or the way that they're using their voices today and be like, oh, I never listened to this. But you got rappers like Laser DM, who it's just like there's rage artists now. You got Baby Kia. There's just a whole bunch of new artists that I would never think that I ought to listen to it, but it's actually good. But
Interesting. Very interesting.
so yeah, I know we go way over what our typical. Well, no, we actually only got an hour and 5 minutes in because we did start a little late. I forgot about that, but do want to be respectful of everyone's time. How you guys on time? You wanted to keep going or you want to call it here?
Well, I guess I wanted to find out from Joshua. I know that um, he said he got through the bulk of what he wanted to share. Were there any closing points or anything particular that hadn't gotten touched on that you wanted to make sure that you touched on?
Um, no, not really. Not really. I feel like I thought we talked about the key points I wanted to hit on. And Dre going back and forth with just streaming and rapping. Good, I feel like concept of how it's taking over with just technology and people using just grabbing the camera, going to Twitch, going to Kick, going to these different platforms, and just sparking up, gaining massive audiences, and just living, having fun with it. Now it's not like traditional. Nowadays, not really people going away from traditional 9 to 5 type of jobs where they can like, oh, I want to be a content creator. I want to create and make money from that doing brand deals. Like, oh, that's what I remember. Another point I want to talk about with streaming. A lot of these big streamers, they're getting all these brand deals with Nike, Adidas, Puma. I know Maximum Bose, Rakai just got a new deal. I know Ray with Adidas, like all these, Kyle with Nike, just all these streamers are a part of these big, massive corporations that you've all known of just off of being in front of the camera, showing who they are, being authentic, and just grinding. So it's just, I would say just a little bit of that, just saying like how this next generation they're taking like captivity and just going like full gas in the sense of just the space of content and just um, using their face as likeness, using their voice as likeness. I feel as though it's a at first the people wasn't really using that unless it was on TV. The people didn't. A lot of people wasn't really noticing that they can do that and just really make a lot of money doing that and creating like a fan base and creating just a name for themselves, a legacy for themselves. So, yeah.
In your
So
opinion,
piggyback off from what you just said. So ultimately, where do you see yourself as a content creator? Do you see this as more a hobby, or do you hope to take it to the level of a Kai, or and I'm using that name because that's the one that I am most familiar with. Even though there's a comedian that does all the uh, uh, does a lot of commercials with one of the telephone brands. I forget his name. His name
Drewski.
escaped.
Drewski.
Drewski. Right. He's pretty big too.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself just doing this as a hobby, or do you ascribe to be a big time
And a
streamer
follow up
like?
question to that is, do you see any career that is more lucrative than being a streamer right now?
Mm. Um. Okay. So first question, I would say is more. I feel like for me, it's more than a hobby. I truly enjoy it, and like I don't like with content. I don't really have to like. I can just do it and just like I'm myself doing the content. I don't have to really think too much about it. I can be myself. So I feel like more of like in that high space of really trying to take it to the next level. And to your question, really feel like streaming. I feel it's like it's more of a sense of it's you. You're like you yourself. You have the chance, like without any certifications, any degrees, doing all these long essays, having an interview process. You can, if you have an idea, you can literally put your idea out there. You can put like you can create ads for yourself or do some type of commercials for yourself to um, like just get yourself out there, make some TikToks, um, just post every day. I feel as though yeah, just doing those like little things. I feel as though like streaming, it's kind of hard to blow, but like jobs are not guaranteed as well. So it's like with that, I feel like streaming is like I felt a little bit higher in the sense of you can if you have a just get the equipment, you can actually um spark a stream, have your friends on there, and just it can create just think of something, do some segments. You can go viral just like this. Jobs, it's not like a you can. It's hard to get a job just like this. You have to have experience and just in whatever respective field you have to be in. So I feel like streaming is a little have a has a notch ahead. I would say.
Yeah, I think streaming has a lower barrier of entry, and I really think Joshua's generation sees that as more stable than a job these days because of what it takes to qualify for jobs these days for a new job. So you could start off on a career path, see that you don't like it, and then be like, well, you kind of stuck in that career path because that's what where all your experience is at, as opposed to making money and being their authentic selves, and kind of having more control over, okay, so now I just got to post a little bit more to get a little bit more money, or get certain branded. So I feel like that the younger generation wants more control over their agency when it comes to making money, as opposed to making money for a company that could possibly fire them or lay them off at any time. So uh, to me, that's what I'm seeing. Um, Things go the direction things are going, because they've seen just my generation go to college and struggle to find new positions. You know what I mean? I was talking about I was laid off earlier or last year, and talking about the job hunt. It's not easy, and then trying to for me though, since I'm already an adult and kind of in my, like, where I got bills and stuff, I'm not as it's a little bit more of a risk for me to try to go the content creation route and try, because I already have bills that are established that I need to make sure that I have to I'm responsible for taking care of. So it's like I can't have the risk of grinding, going a couple months without any any income. But for I based off of the information, I think it's almost the smarter choice, especially when you just take into consideration what can jumpstart a career is just going viral once or twice. So it seems I seen it. I forgot it was like a TikTok. They had a crazy quote. It was like um, when success seems random or when it's unpredictable, taking a gamble is like the the safest option. It's not, I just butchered it, but it was something along the lines to where, when there is no real structure, there's no direct path to success today, then this option where you're having fun doing what you're doing, there's still a high potential of making some money, and because to be honest, in some cases, you going viral could get you a year's worth of salary in some situations. So it's like you could try that every day for a year, and you just have to do it once, and then that make up for everything that you missed out. Now I see issues with that because people getting lump sums of money without understanding the buildup of money, or what it's like to then budget the money. I could see issues coming with that, and I think as you're on your journey, definitely be smart about. Well, I mean, you have your father as a financial coach, so I'm sure you'll make the right decisions, but just be cognizant about the fact that how rare those days are. So it's like if you do only go viral once out of 365 days, then you have to take that into account in how you spend your money, how you reinvest, and I think now what people are trying to do is they're trying to take that money that they make from one viral video and then use that to make two or three viral videos, or then have the budget behind them to up the quality of their streams, or to a degree to where they can possibly get more subscribers. So I think with the new generation, they just want to have much more agency over the amount of money that they make, which I salute and support. I don't think it's easy at all. I think it's a very difficult path, but if they're having fun with it, and they're able to sustain themselves, then I mean it makes more sense, unfortunately. And I know a lot of our older generation doesn't want to hear that, because they're like, I think they look at it as, I would say it's probably a little bit safer than when my generation was trying to become rappers all the time. And there's definitely more avenues for them to make money instead of just like selling albums or streaming, because with that, it's really more about brand development, I think. So if you can develop a good brand, maybe not as much, maybe it doesn't matter as much about how many people are tuning in every day. If people recognize your brand, then you're pretty good. But yeah, just I see things shifting in the job market. You know, just and I can't really, I couldn't even tell him what a better career path would be right now, because especially with AI taking all these jobs. I was talking to a guy over the weekend who's in private equity, and he's saying that now they're using integrating Claude into helping them make financial decisions. So it's just like I have been hearing though that liberal arts is now becoming a lot more lucrative, because what's happening is all of these companies are using AI to create their content, but now all the content sounds the same. So now they need people with liberal arts degrees in order to kind of come and humanize all of that information and make sure that it sounds personal to that brand. So, if you're someone in the younger generation and looking to, you know, get a different career path, maybe now's the time to invest in a liberal arts degree to make sure that you can, are able to tell stories. I think storytelling is like a big job that's coming into the market, because all these companies, especially when it comes to advertising, since if every company is using the same AI and all their commercials look the same, now it's back to adding that human touch to it. So you just have to roll with the times. Sometimes, it's more better to be technical. Sometimes it's better to be liberal, or liberal arts or artsy, however you want to put it. But yeah.
There's 2 points that I want to make. One, you're so right in that there's so much opportunity for a person that's willing to apply themselves. Because let's face it, I think that because it's so being an influencer is so broad, and you can choose what lane you want to get into with rapping. Becoming famous as a rapper was hard because, first of all, most of the people had to actually be able to rap. Now, of course, Dre and I know that some of them can't rap, couldn't rap, but the majority of them needed to be able to rap. So that knocked out a whole gang of people because they couldn't rap. But now it's so broad. And I wanted to say this, that the companies, when you kept mentioning brands, the companies that used to have to go through large entities and pay millions and millions of dollars to those large entities to advertise their product, they're making out like bandits, comparatively speaking, because the amount of money that they're not, the individual influencers are doing well. But overall, I think these companies are able to pay less to the individual influencers than they were paying to these large corporations, the large networks that they used to have to pay. And imagine that you specialize, to use a word I heard Joshua use earlier, niche. Imagine you developed your own niche and you became like some of these other influencers that we called by name earlier. You became the guy for this particular product. Not only would they give you product to show off on your stream, but they would pay you because you are getting eyeballs to your site. So it's just the possibilities are limitless. And a lot of times when you think about companies that you would seek to market on your site, people are thinking of the big sneaker companies. But there are a lot of other kind of companies that would be interested in getting those eyeballs you have that might not even have a lot of brand recognition from the general public. But there's a lot of companies that make millions and millions of dollars that folks never heard of because they're not sexy. The work they do is not sexy. And the last thing I wanted to say, which I think speaks to the name of our podcast, which I do think ultimately is probably important for those who are successful, and that's consistency. I think that those people who have had success, they've been consistent, whatever consistent looks like. Now, a lot of them have to drop something every day, but I think that whatever that consistency one needs to start, maybe, okay, one person might say, okay, I need to begin being consistent. So maybe you can't start off doing it every day because, like Dre said, you know, he does something outside of this. So you might be doing something outside of it. But the most important thing is to be consistent. So if you're doing it once a week, do it once a week. If you're doing it 3 times a week, do it 3 times a week. Because I will say it's a challenging space to be in, and it's especially challenging, I think, if you're not consistent. Because there's so many people in the space that if you don't have any consistency, it's hard to get.
All right, I think That's a good stopping point. There was other things I wanted to as the conversation was continuing, but I don't want to bring us to 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. Because of course we could keep going forever about this. Joshua, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us that presentation and your insight on just the state of where content creation is at. I know people who are older will definitely learn and get a lot of interesting insight from your perspective.
Hmm.
And I hope that our me and Frank's contributions will help people in your generation kind of see things a little differently as well. Anyone who is pursuing content creation, like Frank said, please stay consistent at it. Um, there's one thing I don't want, because with all of this freedom, what it's going to lead to is where that becomes the best option for everybody to do. So when it becomes what everyone needs to do in terms of being content creation, then that's when we start. I don't know if you guys watch Black Mirror, but we're gonna kind of get into that realm where we're all our life becomes the content that we're kind of sustaining ourselves off of. Um, so definitely get in before it gets to that point. So yeah, everyone just be create responsibly as well. So make sure that you're creating content that is going to make people smile or make people feel good about themselves. So I think that's really the best direction that you can go if you're going to spend all your time into it. And also remember that things kind of average out. So although people who are kind of lower right now, who you might make a couple of dollars here and there, pay attention to how many hours you're putting in, because sometimes when you do end up start streaming 24 hours, now you do have to compare it to how much you would make it at a regular job. So you do have to divide it up by the hours that you're spending, the income that you're getting, to get a real true picture of how much you're actually and the income that you're actually generating. You also have to remember taxes and stuff like that. We got to talk some financials in here. So just all the things. So stream responsibly, um, create content responsibly. Um, Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Please like, comment, subscribe. Any last word from you guys?
Well, I just wanted to thank Joshua for coming on and taking up the challenge because sometimes the idea of coming on his dad's platform, because I don't come on here my dad's platform, but I'm glad that he took the challenge.
For
He
sure.
did a wonderful job,
Thank
and
you.
I
Thank
hope that you will use this on your platform to help draw more people to the work you're doing. Because sometimes people have to hear you. I think it's good sometimes when people hear you in a different way so that they get a perspective of why you do what you do. So I think that's what this content can do for you. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank
you.
you. And hopefully, once you, hopefully maybe once you go viral the first time, we can have you back to talk about that experience. That would be
Mhm.
great.
You're welcome back,
Definitely.
even if you don't go viral, man. This was a great conversation. I actually love having the different generations on here, really having the discussion. So, yeah, would love to do this again whenever you're free.
Mhm.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you next time.